When a big project fails, it's usually for the same old reasons, right? Not enough money, not enough people, not enough support. But what if a project was so successful that its success actually created a crisis? Well, today we're going to dive into an ancient story that's all about that, the totally unexpected problem of having way too much.
No, really. Think about that for a second. Imagine you're running a fundraiser, and it's so incredibly effective that your number one problem is figuring out how to get people to stop giving you stuff. I mean, it sounds like a dream problem to have, but for this one massive community project, it was a real, honest-to-goodness logistical headache.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a truly huge undertaking. The ancient Israelites were given this divine blueprint, this grand vision to build a sacred sanctuary. And look, this wasn't just some construction job. This was a mission designed to pull the entire community together. And it was going to need incredible skill, serious artistry, and a ton of resources. Now, a project of this scale, it needs more than just a bunch of people willing to work. It needs a brilliant leadership team, a real dream team. And for this gig, the project managers weren't just picked because they were good at their jobs. They were said to be divinely inspired.
And here are our guys. Moses introduces the two men chosen to spearhead this whole thing, Bezalel and Oholiab. You can think of them as the master artisans, the head honchos, the chief architects who were going to oversee every single last detail.
So, what made these two so special? Why them? Well, the text says they were filled with the Spirit of God, but that wasn't just some vague spiritual compliment. It meant they literally had the whole package, the wisdom to plan it all out, the understanding to tackle any complex problems that came up, deep knowledge of their materials, and just an incredible range of hands-on skills.
And just get a load of the skill set. We're talking everything from high-level artistic design and working with precious metals to delicate gem cutting and super intricate embroidery. But you see that last one? The ability to teach others? That might just be the most important skill on the whole list. Their secret weapon. They weren't just masters, they were mentors who could train and empower a whole army of craftspeople.
Okay, so you've got your all-star leaders in place. But even the best leaders in the world can't build something this massive alone. Bezalel and Oholiab, they needed materials and they needed a workforce. So the call went out to the entire community.
And the response? Wow. It was just amazing. First, Moses puts out the call, and all of the skilled folks who are willing to help, they step right up. Then, the rest of the community starts bringing what they call freewill offerings, basically donating materials. And it didn't just happen once. The momentum just kept building. People were so fired up, they just kept on bringing more, morning after morning after morning.
And right here, this is where our story takes a really fascinating twist. Because this incredible generosity, this unbelievable flood of support, it actually created a problem, a huge problem that absolutely nobody saw coming. And then, boom, right in the middle of this divinely inspired project, everything just grinds to a halt. The artisans, the skilled workers, every single one of them, they put down their tools, they walk off the job site, and they make a beeline straight for Moses with an urgent report.
So what was the emergency? Were they out of gold? Did they want out of wood? Nope. This was their urgent problem. Moses, the people are bringing way more than enough to get the job done. They were literally being swamped by donations. So yeah, their new challenge, their big obstacle, was simply too much stuff, an overabundance of resources. The community's own incredible generosity had become a logistical nightmare. It is the kind of problem every project manager on Earth wishes they had, right? Thankfully, the solution to this very, very unique problem was actually pretty straightforward. It just required one simple, direct command from the person in charge. No committees, no studies, just a clear decision. And here's exactly how it went down super quick. The workers come to Moses and report the surplus. Moses doesn't hesitate. He immediately sends out an order to the entire camp. Everybody stop, no more donations. And just like that, the floodgates of generosity were officially closed. Because the simple fact was, they already had more than enough to do all the work. They hadn't just hit their fundraising goal, they had completely smashed it. United by this incredible purpose, the community had provided everything that was needed for this monumental task, and then some.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
In a world that so often feels focused on scarcity, on what we don't have, what can a story like this, a story about having too much, teach us? What's really possible when a community gets behind a clear purpose, with inspired leadership, and just a spirit of radical, unstoppable generosity?